Hey y'all, what's going on? Hey, my name is Jason Dames. I'm the owner of Radiance Videography. I'm the behind the scenes guy for the Alaskan Savage channel. We're helping do a lot of the post-production and the editing for Mr. John Rodriguez. And I wanted to introduce myself. We're gonna put a little video together. I'm getting ready to go down on a trip to Alaska to film some awesome footage for John and the crew. And I wanted to kind of share with you guys what it's like to be able to travel, and I put down a list of different things to kind of expect if you're deciding to take a trip down to Alaska and what that might look like. So we're going to be going over everything from packing, buying a fishing license, buying a plane ticket, the ferry ride and what you need to know. We're also going to be talking about things you need in Alaska and some photos and B-roll. It's going to be some fat stuff. You're going to like it. And when I say fat, I mean PH fat, not the FAT fat. You get where I'm coming from. But with that said, guys, stay tuned. We're going to keep this video going. We're going to have lots of great footage for you. So let's just start with some of the things you need to pack for this trip. So let's get to it. All right, so hey, what's up? I'm back from the trip from Alaska. I actually wanted to do this portion of the video after I got back, so that way I could kind of tell you guys a little bit more about what you should expect as far as weather, what you should bring, maybe pack in your luggage. We actually went down to Alaska. I think it was at the somewhere around July, in the middle of the summer. So here's the thing, I was expecting, even though Alaska's typically, you know, colder, I was expecting, because it was in the middle of the summer, that it'd be a lot warmer. And so I'm a good old boy from Missouri.
Hey, nice wheels, buddy.
Jethro, why do you think that feller's pointing at us?
I reckon that's the way they wave howdy in California. Boy, howdy.
So a lot of the times I was out in shorts when we were out fishing on the boat and stuff like that, but
we got the cameraman in a white pair of Adidas with his little shorts on. His hair's all up in a bun. You're looking good, bro. You're looking a true Alaskan right here.
trying, man.
Fitting right in. I like it.
Here's the thing about Alaskan weather is I wanted to just inform you, if you've never been there, the weather can change, anywhere from 15 minutes to 20 minutes back and forth, from being windy and cloudy and cold.
Help me pull him in, ready? Oh, man. Stay away from that other hook. I had a guy get that in his glove handle, tied to a big fish, so rock on.
To the sun being out, you know, you want to take off your jacket, and it feels great.
So Caleb, what's your strategy today, man?
Jason, you know my strategy.
It's the same as every day, listen to John?
Listen to John. That's a bumper sticker.
So the weather can change. So what I recommend doing, and what John advised me to do, it's definitely best to wear layers when you're there. You can always take off clothes, but when you don't bring enough, then you're in trouble. You're freezing, and like I said, the wind comes in, starts raining, and it gets pretty darn chilly even in the middle of the summer. Now, the last part of the trip that I was out there was actually very beautiful for the most part. I think we were in the 70s and sunshine. I would say the last part of the week, and so sometimes you might get lucky with that. But for the first part of the 2 weeks I was out there, you know, like I said, it was back and forth, very windy at some points, cloudy, rainy. And so that's another thing you want to do, is you want to bring rain gear. There's a brand called Grunder that I saw a lot of people wearing. It's great for light rain jackets. They even got rain coats, boots, and so forth. So I'll put a link in the description below for that company. But you definitely want to take some sort of rain gear. Another thing that you want to keep in mind, if you plan on going out doing some fly fishing, you want to make sure that you bring some waders. And I went to Amazon and just ordered some cheapo waders for like 50 bucks. I would, after going there, not necessarily recommend that. I would recommend getting a decent pair of waders. John recommends getting the Sims waders. They're just great. They're built well. They're light.
I do like these Sims waders though. I've had them for 7-8 years, and I haven't put a hole in them yet. I mean, I'm always on my knees, you know, getting hooks up for people, or weighing fish, or sliding around on logs and rocks, and it held up really well.
They're really made for those particular circumstances. Another thing is with those waders that I bought, you know, the boots on them were very slick.
Coming to Alaska, it's important you bring a proper gear. We're gonna go over this a little bit. What kind of clothes not to bring. I mean, there's good waders, there's okay waders, there's just a bunch of stuff. If you come here and you wanna enjoy your trip, call me, we'll try to make sure that you get the right gear. This poor unfortunate soul couldn't find any shoes for him, so he's wearing Crocs with a little tape on them, but he's already put in over a mile in them, and he's being a trooper. Get something with a good sole. This rock guards are kind of nice. Then if you film your boots, want to film your boots? Old Sexies, they got really slippery soles.
A lot of times whenever you're going through the creeks and things like that, getting out onto the water, you're climbing over big logs and stuff like that, and you don't want to have slippery shoes because there's moss over top and you can just lose your footing very easily. So I would recommend, you know, having something with good boots that have good tread on them that can grip things very well. I'm going to be sharing a video that John did about a boot that you can buy out that it's really popular. It's called the Extra Tough boots.
All right, I'd like to talk a little bit about Extra Tough boots. A lot of people, a lot of my clients, they show up and they're wearing a black soled boot. They keep your feet dry or whatever, rubber boot, but the reason why I buy these Extra Toughs is because of this sole. And Con's wearing a full-size set, the insulated ones, but these were a full set and they had a crease in them, and I've worn them for over a year and they broke, so I made slippers out of them, but I still hang on to them because they really grab on wet surfaces, wet decks, wet boards. I've had some clients get out of my boat and they were wearing black soled boots and they ended up wiping out, and they're just super slick. You can't see enough about the sole of these boots.
And it's kind of signature out in Alaska, but it's starting to become really well known all over the place. They're just a great boot with great grip, and they're kind of a fashion statement out in Alaska. Now, like I said, guys, I went out there in the middle of the summer thinking it was going to be a little bit warmer than it was, and at times it was really cold. So, hey, if you're going out there more during the fall or the springtime, you're definitely going to want to bring extra warm clothes. But even if you go in the middle of the summer like I did, like I said, make sure you just wear layers, bring extra clothes. You can always take them off instead of being freezing at times like I was. I had to borrow some stuff from my man John. So with that said, y'all, let's go ahead and move on to booking your flight and buying your fishing license. All right, so hey, if you're wanting to go hunting and fishing in Southeast Alaska, it's imperative that you get the proper fishing and hunting license for the state of Alaska. And so I'm gonna be going down and doing some fishing with John, my main man, the Alaskan Savage, and I'm just gonna show you how I went about going and getting my fishing license for this trip. So what you wanna do is you just wanna go on Google or Microsoft Bing or whatever that works good for you. You're gonna type in fishing license in Southeast Alaska, and you're gonna see that we've just dropped down to this link here. It's the www.adfg Alaska. I'm gonna click on that. Right here you can see all you have to do to obtain that is click on obtain online, and then we're gonna shop as a guest. I'm gonna put in my full name, all the information. Yes, I am a male. And then I'm a non-resident. And then we're gonna choose the state from where my license is from. That's Missouri. And then we're gonna put in my license number here. And we just grab that out and it's and then right here we're gonna click on fishing and hunting and trapping stamps. A short-term fishing license for king salmon stamps. Click on that. And right here you're gonna see a drop-down box. I'm gonna go ahead and pick a 7-day fish. It's for 45 bucks. Put in your date. Mine is going to be in June. And the 18th. We're going to add to cart. And then we're going to check out here for 45 bucks. Check out. And then you're just going to enter all the information that you need for that. So now that you all have your hunting and fishing license taken care of, that's just one of the things you can check off the box. Now we'll move on to the next step. All right, so first things first, some things you might need to know about your flight. I'm going to cover some of the things that I really didn't think about, starting with actually booking your flight. One of the things that you, like I did is that I, booked it a little bit later, so I had a lot more layovers. In particular, I had to do an overnight layover. So if that's something that concerns you, you might, if you book it quite a bit earlier, your trip, chances are that maybe you won't have as many layovers on your trip as well. That might just be part of deciding how much you want to spend as well. So here's the thing about your flight. My flight, we're going to be flying into Ketchikan, Alaska. Ketchikan, you're going to take, once you get there, you're going to take the ferry. And here's the thing about the ferry. Once you want to make sure that you get there before 1 o'clock. So the ferry stops going to the island. What you're going to do is it's going to take you to Prince of Wales Island. You're going to get on the Prince of Wales Island and you're going to drive for another couple hours. So that's something also you want to keep in mind, because you might need, if you're traveling and you're needing transportation, they do have people in Ketchikan that will rent their vehicles to you, in particular like a truck if you need to. That's something to keep in mind. So like I said, you're going to drive a couple hours on Prince of Wales into Coffman Cove, and that's where you're going to meet up with my boy John. And so that's some things that you want to think about when you're flying into Alaska. All right, so they're about to board, so let's get it. Okay. Thank you. Hello, good morning. All right, so we just landed in Ketchikan. We're picking up our bags at the baggage claim right behind us. And so we're gonna go out and we're gonna hit a couple of the stores, get a few things that we need to take with us. One of the things that you might want to think about is if you're going over to the Prince of Wales Island, everything costs a lot more. So it's something that you want to keep in mind. You want to make sure that maybe you can stop and get a lot of the drinks and lunch meat stuff, the lunches, things that you need on your trip. You can pick up here in the Ketchikan area before you go over on the ferry. So the next thing that we're going to do is head on over there. So peace. Alright guys, so I told you we're in Ketchikan. We just got on the ferry to cross over to the other side where all the stores are, restaurants and so forth. But I got a great guy here. It's John's brother, Josh, and we just had an incident happen at the airport, and I want him to share kind of just what happened, something that you can look out for whenever you're coming down here to Ketchikan. Sometimes things happen that you don't plan for, but let's turn it over here to Josh. Josh, man, look at those arms, man. He's got massive
Funny
arms.
guy. Well, maybe just a little tip: if you're traveling anywhere, try to pack most of your good, expensive stuff, your belongings you can get by with, in your carry-on. You get a personal bag you can take, and you get a good size carry-on. Good, I mean, you can look up the rules, but whatever you do, don't put all your valuables in your checked-in baggage, because they can get stolen, they can lose it. It's happened to me many times coming up here or going down. So
What just happened to you?
well, we flew in, we had 3 fish boxes loaded with groceries and all kinds of perishables for the trip for everybody. And they checked in 3 bags, and around the carousel, someone must have snagged one, whether they thought it was theirs or they stole it. And so we're short 1 box, which is a little bit of a bummer, but we'll make do. Peace out. Okay, we're looking good. Now we're ready to go get a little more groceries, some cocktail material. And
There you go.
Need a cocktail after that.
A few cold Bud Lights.
And now Colton wants us to take a
what?
cake for your brother.
Of course, that's John. That's John for you, though. You know why? Cooking crab.
He's gonna cook crab cake.
All right, so I was just telling you a little bit ago that if you're wanting to, save on some money, everything's a lot more expensive once you get over to Prince of Wales Island. So there is a grocery store right behind me. You can see it. It's called the Plaza, right next to Safeway, the gas station. You can pick up, lunch meat or whatever that you need for the week. It's going to save you a ton of money. So make sure you might want to also schedule in some time before you go on the ferry to be able to calculate that in, because remember I said the ferries stop at 1 o'clock, so you want to make sure that you're here before then to get a ferry ride over to the island itself. If you didn't order your fishing license, your hunting license online like we went over before, you can also stop by. There's a great marine shop here that you can check out. Some of the other guys just came in and they're stopping in to get their fishing license, so they can hook you up there. I just wanted to inform you guys of some of these places that you can think ahead of, or if you're just last minute type of person, you can stop here as well. So now we're on our way to the ferry. We'll see you on the flip side. All right, so we've made it onto the ferry. So once you get onto the ferry, whether you have a truck or if you don't have a truck and you didn't rent anything, you can just get on. You buy a ticket. The ticket's around like 40-50 bucks. You get on the ferry. You're going to be on this ferry for about 2 to 3 hours. Take you over to Prince of Wales Island. They've got a cafe on the boat, so you can order like wraps or hamburgers or fries, things of that nature. And it's just, unbelievable scenery out here. You can kind of see just the beauty of Alaska, and that's obviously probably why you're coming. So we're going to be on the ferry for a little bit, and then we'll kind of give you an idea of some more stuff whenever we get on to Prince of Wales and Coffman Cove Island. I'm pretty stoked about meeting up with John, catching some more great footage for you guys to be able to see on this channel. And so we'll catch you on the flip side.
That's some dark black hair.
There he is, the man.
Oh, hey, guys.
Good to see you, brother.
Welcome to Coffman. I've been busy.
This is Mr. John Rodriguez, the man.
I've been remodeling. I've been playing
He
in
does
wood
it all
for
here.
days. Playing in wood. Oh, I got a phone going.
He builds it all from scratch,
I
folks.
want to see my brother's expression when he goes in his house. Go check out your cabin.
Give me a hug.
Good
seeing you,
I
brother.
want you to see it. Been putting
Putting
it
away.
Go look.
Check it out.
This is gonna be like house hunters.
House hunters.
Jeez, it looks really good. New floors.
Wow.
Done a lot of work done. Looks really good.
So this is grandbaby side over here. Your mom's here, Tim's here, Matt's here, even Axel. Look at Grandma, she shrunk every year. Everybody got bigger. There was your sister's last one. So we gotta get you a mark here. We'll get you one.
Looks really good.
Right there. Yeah. Once we'll get a marker and you can start. You gotta get taller than me.
Old Jack's prepared with his concrete coat.
He's all dressed up.
Is the wind gonna die down today?
It's just the westerly. It's supposed to go northeast or northwest. It's gonna be nice all day.
Savage. What do we got planned for today?
Fishing. Hopefully some catching.
Alright. Pretty excited about catching today, Con.
Halibut. That's my favorite.
Got my friends and family out here, and we've already had a really good day on halibut today, this morning. Limited out on halibut, and now we've hiked into a really remote little creek that holds sockeye. So we're gonna fly fish sockeye this evening, and as you can see, one brother's up that way and trying to fish on these logs. There's a few fish in here, but the water's pretty low, so we're gonna head down towards the mouth and see if we can't get in a pile of fish and have some fun with them for a couple hours, and then hike back out here and go have dinner. Oh, I thought he had one.
What are we doing here, Savage?
We are making our own tippet leaders, and just tying a uni knot with straight 12-pound test line and getting a leader made. About a 10-foot leader for these sockeye, 10 to 11-foot leader. That is 6 fish I've got in here. Here we go.
What to do here, Josh?
We're about to launch the boat in Luck Lake here, and we're gonna go across the other side and do some fishing with the whole fam. There should be a bunch of dollies, rainbows, cutthroat. They're coming down the creek right now and eating the salmon smoke. So John's gonna go give us the tour and see how we do. Got it running?
Yep. You have to jump it? Yeah, with a little booster. But it normally come down to the creek, but we got a whole bunch of family. It just makes it a lot easier to put a boat in and take everybody over.
Do you want to kill it? I'll pull it up so it's easier for people to get in. It's okay. You didn't tell him so.
What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew, what you doing today, man?
We're fishing for dollies.
All right, get any luck?
Yeah, no, not really.
Rough day, huh?
Yeah, pretty rough.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
What do you want to say on this channel?
Subscribe.
Yeah, like, subscribe, share.
Yep, and John over there is one of the best fishermen on the island. So, subscribe.
Jack's turned 18 today.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy. Do you remember how to cast it?
Yeah.
Just hold your finger there.
Yeah.
Put the bail. Cast it out. And then when you're reeling, I just pull it down a little bit. And you'll see the spoon. See it pulling. Not too fast like this, but just nice. Oops.
Yeah, hang on.
It would have been hilarious if you caught it the first time. Alright.
That's a fatty.
Alright, sad to say, but we're getting ready to pack up to leave from the Alaskan Savage's house, Mr. John Rodriguez, and we're getting ready to put some fish in the box to take home. John was kind enough to send some fish home with me, and then we're going to jump on the ferry and head back for the long trip. So, alright, like I said, we're packing up here. I'm just putting in my fish and the carry-on boxes to be able to take with me on our flight. And so basically what I do is load the fish in here, put it on the scale, and then wrap it all up, and then we're ready to go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put the box onto the scale, but before we do that, we wanna put a board over top of the scale so that way the box doesn't bend. And you set the board on there, and then you gotta press this. You'll see that the board weighs 2.11 pounds, so we don't wanna add extra weight onto the package. It's just going to ding you for more money if you do that. So you press the tear button here, it balances it back out to 0, so that way we're just weighing the fish, set the box on there, and then we're going to load it on up. So get the fish out of here. Is it just, okay. So we start grabbing some halibut here. And so you want to make sure that when you're throwing the fish in, that you don't just chuck it in the box. Basically the bag can break, and we don't want that to happen, right? So keep going. One little thing that John just let me know is that when I was pulling the bag out of the refrigerator or the freezer, it dropped on the ground. And so, like I was saying, those bags can be brittle and break. And so if you're taking that home and you realize that one of the bags broke, it's no longer in a vacuum sealed bag anymore, and so you want to make sure that you eat that fish first and separate it from the rest, so that way it doesn't go bad. Yeah, John hooked me up. I mean, this fish back home would cost me quite a bit of money. John just said it would cost close to $4,000 to buy from the grocery store, And this meat, we know where we got it from. John always says whack them and stack them, man. You know it's good quality meat. You know it's gonna have nutrients. I'm a fitness guy. You guys all know that. Maybe you don't, but that's like very important to me to make sure that we get quality food. And John, man, he hooked me up. All right, so we want to make sure that we label this before it goes in the plane. So that's kind of what we're doing. It's got the box. We made this box number 1. This one's box number 2, and they're both 50 pounds of weight. And so then we're gonna put the species. This one's got salmon and halibut on it. Halibut, and then this one's just got halibut. And I'm going to rewrite that a little bit better. 50 pounds. And box number 1. And then John said we need to write our name, the name at the bottom, so they know.
No, my brother got his box. Remember, he brought a fish box up and got it stolen, so off the carousel. Someone grabbed it, and it wasn't theirs. So it's kind of nice to have your name on it. Maybe a phone number up here.
All right, so we got our fish all loaded into the back of the car. We're getting ready to head out from Southeast Alaska. I'm so excited, so pumped about this fish that John gave me. I am disappointed that I have to leave because it's so beautiful out here. I'm gonna miss my buddy John. But for now, we're getting ready to head over to the ferry and jump on there, and then we're gonna fly out to on a long trip back home. So, all right, so we're getting ready to go on to the ferry. On the way back, this is gonna take us back over to Ketchikan. As you can see right now, here is the ferry boat. We're getting ready to jump on there. That bad boy. It's a beautiful day out in Alaska, man. So I just jumped back onto the ferry. We're heading over back to Ketchikan for the flight out. And I just wanted to share a couple things with you guys as you're thinking about coming down to Southeast Alaska, coming to Coffman Cove. I'm gonna send it over here to my boy John to tell you a couple different ways that you can get out here to Coffman Cove, whether by ferry here or by flight.
All right, a lot of comments and questions I get, and probably the most common question I get is, how do I get to Coffman Cove? Or what are my options to get here? And what to expect? And so I really recommend you either flying into Ketchikan, and I'll give you some options on that, through Alaska Airline. I think Delta's flying sometimes in the summer, but you'll have to check that out for prices and rates and availability. And then Wrangell is another one, and you can fly right in on Alaska Airline. If you fly into Wrangell, you have an option. You've got Sunrise Aviation, which can fly you over and land at our float plane dock. If you fly into Wrangell also, you can come across on the jet boat, and the jet boat is around $275 round trip, unlimited baggage. They'll pick you up at the airport, they'll take you grocery shopping, they'll take you to the tackle shop if you want, they'll put you on their boat, and they'll bomb you across on their long extended jet boats. They're comfortable rides, all air ride seats, super accommodating people. They run a great service. Those are the options from Wrangell. If you come into Ketchikan, you have the Inter Island Ferry. They have ferry ticket on a walk-on is around 50 bucks. No charge on the baggage except going back. They're gonna stick you with a $10 baggage fee for fish boxes, just because the fish boxes take up so much of their cart space. You will take off from Ketchikan at 3:30. Every day the ferry leaves at 3:30. It arrives in Hollis at 6:30. And you'll want to pre-arrange a rental car, because if you come into Hollis, it's on the opposite end of the island where Coffman is, and you will have to get a rental car and drive here. If you haven't shopped for your groceries in Ketchikan, your only other option is Klawock or Craig, and you're gonna drive right by it with a rental car on your way here. You definitely want to pre-arrange the rental vehicles. I can't say enough about that. They're off-site of the terminal, they're off-site of any airports or any of the accommodations of the airlines that they have on the island. So they have to come to you and have the car pre-arranged for you. If you don't want to take the ferry, it's a long ferry ride, but it's a lot cheaper. You can fly over on Island Air Express. It lands in Klawock, which is halfway from Hollis towards Coffman Cove. Again, you're going to need a vehicle to get here. I don't have any pickup services, so you're going to need a vehicle to get to Coffman Cove. You're going to want to pre-arrange that one. Make sure you have it already rented, ready to go. It's right there where the grocery stores are, so you can pick up your groceries and then come to Coffman. Another thing about Island Air Express that I want to express is, this kind of sounds funny, but you want to, if you fly with Island Air, they have one of the best track records of the small planes. And they are super accommodating, really great staff, but they run off of instruments. A lot of the float planes, it's all off of weather. So if you get some crappy weather, it's really cruddy, whatever, you're gonna be stuck either coming here or leaving. We get a little front coming in or a lot of fog, you might be delayed 2 days, 1 day, whatever. With Island Air Express, they'll fly. I mean, I don't think they've ever canceled a flight as long as I know, unless it's like 100-mile-an-hour winds in the winter. So they're really reliable, they're safe, they're accommodating, they run a great program, and most of my clients come that way. If you want to fly a float plane from Ketchikan, I recommend Taquan Air. And Taquan Air has a terminal over there at the airport, so does Island Air Express, and you can get in their plane and you can fly right here and you'll land at our float plane dock just down here out of the harbor. I've got some video, you can kind of see the float planes. If you've never done it, it's a good experience. It's a lot of fun for the most part, for most people. But the only thing I can say that might hang you up is weather, and if you do really well on the fishing. So if you have a large group and you're trying to come out of here with several hundred pounds of fish, a lot of times you will not be able to get your fish out or your luggage, depending on your group size. So the planes can only haul so much weight-wise safely, and they're right to the books because your life depends on it too. So you might have to charter another plane to get your stuff picked up or brought back, or you might be waiting on your stuff a couple days, so it won't go with you when you leave out of Ketchikan on Alaska Airlines. So those are some of the things that you need to work on when booking your trip. And I can't stress it enough, booking your trip, you always want to book it backwards. Start in Coffman Cove, get things squared away. Even if you're not staying with me, you're staying at another bed and breakfast, or you're fishing here, this is just helpful advice that I'm trying to give to anybody. Book your stuff backwards. Make all your arrangements in Coffman, then make however you're getting to your major airport, like either Wrangell or Ketchikan, book that section, and then book your Alaska Airlines to wherever your home destination is. And that will just save you a lot of stress and headaches.
All right, so I just got off the ferry, got into the airport. Wanted to give you guys a little bit of information, kind of what to expect as far as the fish packing that we did. Like you could see earlier that when we were at John's house, we had 2 boxes that were about 50 pounds a piece. And so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of expectation as of right now, where we stand with gas prices. This could change. But I was able to basically get my carry-on bag and the 2 50-pound fish boxes in for 170 bucks. I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that. So like I said, that could change. But right now I'm just waiting on my flight. I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a rundown of the airport and the amenities that they have. So they do have a couple little restaurants, a cocktail area. You can see behind me that they have a little thrift shop that you can buy some souvenirs for your kids and stuff if you're taking home. I know I just bought a couple sweaters. It is a little bit more pricey here. One of the things that for me, I was out and about and I was going to stop by a store and get some souvenirs, but I had a taxi and I didn't want him driving all over the place, so I ended up just settling for getting some souvenirs here. They're actually pretty cool. They got some good stuff, some hats, some hoodies, some coffee mugs and things like that you know, your kids or your wife might like. So I picked up a few things. I got a couple more hours of downtime here, so I think I'm going to catch up on some reading, some listening to some audiobooks and stuff like that, some podcasts. I love to do that type of stuff. So we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
If you like this video, please subscribe, please share it with friends, and shoot me a comment. Whack 'em and stack 'em and know where your meat comes from.